want to sing along, that's fine. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Just make sure you listen to the lyrics of the song, because I think the message behind it is pretty cool. Yeah.
Hey guys, we hope this video finds you doing well and everybody's safe and healthy at home. It's been a trying few months, and we just wanted to take a few minutes. Mr. Klutz asked Jameson and I to put a video together to just talk a little bit about Jameson's journey over the last 5 months, since his diagnosis back in December. We just wanted to hopefully be able to encourage you and challenge you with the things that we share here in the next few minutes. But let me just start by just saying thank you to you and your families for the different ways that you've supported us and cared for us. Our WC family has been huge through this journey for our family. So, but let's just go ahead and start with a few questions, and Jameson will just share kind of how he's feeling and what things have been like recently. So Jay, how are you feeling? What's been going on? How treatment's been going? Things like that.
I'm feeling pretty good. I had the past few weeks have been pretty well, except for a couple of days, but overall it's been pretty well. and I haven't had a treatment for a while, except for I'm getting one tomorrow. And yeah, pretty much waiting for another drug to use because they don't have it yet, and I need it to keep going forward in my chemotherapy. So yeah.
Okay. So what, for kids who have never had someone who have gone through this, what are chemo treatments like? What do you experience? What typically happens when you go down to the hospital for your treatments? How do you feel afterwards? Things like that.
Usually you go down and check in. Nowadays when I'm going down, they're taking your temperature before you get in, just to make sure you don't have any of the symptoms of the coronavirus. But usually check in, and then you would go to elevators, and I go up to the 11th floor. Other people go other places, but I go to the 11th floor most of the time. And then we check in there. They give me my bracelet and stuff. We wait, and then depending on what I'm getting, I'm sometimes in infusion or sometimes I'm in clinic. It just depends. But either way, we go back and they access me. And then they take blood to check my counts and stuff to see if I'm able to do the certain drug I need that day. And then they usually takes a little bit for the chemo drug to be made. And then they, in 20-40 minutes usually, but when we get back there, they usually have it ready. And it's pretty much depending on what drug it is. It just depends on how long it takes. And usually when I'm there, I just sometimes watch TV, stuff like that, or do homework if I'm feeling good. But yeah.
Okay. So you spend obviously a lot of time down at the hospital, which means that you have a lot of hurry up and wait. What are you mentioned that you do some homework, you watch some TV. What are some other activities that you find yourself spending your time with, whether it's when you're at the hospital or here at home, because obviously you're not able to do all the things that you have normally done with your time. So what are some things that maybe you spend your time doing these days?
Oh, at home, I usually, when I can, get outside, play basketball, go in the backyard, play some wood football and stuff, play with our dog, soccer. But I try to stay outside as much as possible, but on bad days, I'm usually watching stuff or playing on my Xbox and stuff like that. So yeah.
Another thing that has been really great through all this is, in addition to folks supporting us through providing things like games and other things for us to kind of help you pass your time at the hospital, folks have been providing a lot of meals, and they've been good meals. Everything from homemade stuff to carry out. Just share what we've eaten a lot of different foods in the last few months. What have been maybe some of your favorite things that you've gotten a chance to enjoy? I know that sometimes you don't really feel like eating, so when you do get a chance to eat, what's been some of the foods that you really enjoyed?
We got a lot of lasagnas, and I really like lasagna or pasta, stuff like that. Also, like getting carrot foods like Chick-fil-A, Chipotle, stuff like that, Wendy's sometimes. And also, like, I don't know why, but nowadays I like salad a bunch, so when we get salad, that's one of the things I love eating for some reason.
Cool. Well, as you look back 5 months ago when you were first diagnosed with leukemia, our worlds were completely turned upside down. And I think a lot of people can now relate to that because of what's been going on with COVID lately. But take us back to December and just talk a little bit about maybe some of the first things that you were feeling, some of the challenges that were presented to you, and how you kind of dealt with that in the last few months.
Well, when I was first diagnosed, I was really surprised. Like, actually, I have cancer. It's like, I didn't think someone like me, or I'm super athletic, stuff like that. I love playing outside and stuff. Just think about having cancer, which is so weird because I would never have thought I would have got it. But it was kind of weird because I had to stay in the hospital for the first 2 weeks, and I was kind of getting tired of the hospital, wanting to go home and stuff. But when I finally got to get home, we had our cousins over for Christmas and stuff, so it was really nice. But when we got through like January and February, I wasn't feeling like my feet started hurting and stuff like that. I had to take pills for that. and I was not able to do some of the normal things I was usually doing, just like chores and stuff like that. It was really hard for me to do it. But then in around late February, early March, I started PT, which is physical therapy, and that really helped because when I started doing that, I was not being active as much and stuff, but now I'm really active, and when I feel like going outside, I go outside, and stuff inside is really easy to do now, so yeah.
So it sounds like physical therapy has been a huge piece for you physically, just making you feel better, and being, like you said, being able to be more active. What are some other things that you have found that have really helped you, maybe not necessarily even just physically, but even like mentally, emotionally? Because the thing about cancer that I think we think about is we think about the physical side of it, but we don't often think of the toll that it's taking on you and other kids that have pediatric cancer emotionally and mentally. So what have been some things that have helped you deal with some of the mental and emotional stress that has come with being a cancer patient?
Well, spiritually wise, I've been reading a book that John Eldridge, it's called Wild at Heart, and that's really helped through all this, and being able to read that just really helps me with my faith in God, and also gives me strength to know that every day I have a chance to live, and every day I'm getting better. So yeah.
That's awesome. When you think about how having cancer has changed you, I'm sure that it's impacted relationships. You mentioned you feel like you're, maybe growing closer to God because of you're slowing down and spending time reading and praying and things like that. How has it impacted not only your relationship with God, but maybe relationships with family and friends and other people?
I try to see family as much as I can. It's hard for us now because of the coronavirus, but before then, we were trying to see having cousins come in and stuff like that. And trying to do some FaceTimes. But for friends, I tried to have some over before the coronavirus, and also just play like Xbox with them and hang out with them too. So
that's awesome. You've mentioned the coronavirus a couple times. Obviously, COVID-19 is something that has impacted everyone, but in particular, folks that are considered "quote unquote" high risk, which you would be one of those. How do you feel like COVID has impacted you personally?
I'm kind of more hesitant in what I like, where I go and what I do, because it's harder. I don't want to get it because it's harder for me to recover from it, and it's kind of scary because you never know who or what has done or touched or something like that. You never know. So it's harder for me to be able to hang out with people. I haven't been able to hang out with friends because I'm guessing they're not close to anyone that's had the coronavirus, but you just never know. So it's been harder to communicate and stuff like that, but I still try to do FaceTimes and stuff with friends and stuff like that. So.
Awesome. Okay, so this has all been really challenging and difficult, but I know that you have found encouragement, particularly in Scripture, and so I just wanted you to, as we're kind of wrapping up here, can you share what's been maybe a passage or a verse from the Bible that you find yourself going back to again and again because it's really just been an encouragement for you?
A verse is Isaiah 41:10. Fear not, for I am with you. Before not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, yes, I will help you. I will uphold you with your righteous right hand. It just is really encouraging because knowing that God's with me and I don't have to fear because He's in control and what happens to me. So
that's awesome. Well, Jameson, I think it takes a lot of courage to not only go through what you're going through. I've never been so proud of you as a father, but I also think it takes a lot of courage to be able to share some of these things with your friends. So I really appreciate you taking that time to do that now. So, guys, we really, again, just appreciate how much you've been praying for us and encouraging us. Know that we're praying for you too, especially amidst everything that's going on with COVID-19. We're looking forward to Jay maybe getting back to school, hopefully in the fall, and being able to get back to relative normalcy. We're just excited to see what God's got in store for him and for the rest of us. So, between now and when we see you next, God bless you, and just hold on to your faith in the Lord, and know that like Jay said, that he's in control. Thanks so much.